So you've heard me and my husband talk before about veganism, being vegan, raising vegan babies, being pregnant when vegan. I am today talking about my raw vegan pregnancy. What the heck is raw veganism? So for those of you who do not know what raw veganism is, you know what veganism is. You know animal products. It's also a lifestyle, so you're not using animal products in your daily life. So, no leather, that sort of stuff. But when we talk about diet, excuse me, it's not incorporating animal products into your food, into your diet. Now, raw veganism is just taking it to the next level. If you guys have noticed in my videos, I have a lot of airplanes going overhead because we live right underneath a flight path. So raw veganism is eating vegan, but your food is not being cooked. You can warm your food, which is nice. You can have warm soups, you can create noodles, that sort of thing. But nothing is cooked over 118 degrees. So the idea is that the enzymes are not being destroyed, and you're keeping a lot of the nutrients intact for your body. Now, some of this is, argued, but man, do you ever feel different when you go raw vegan? I tell people all the time, if you want to know if something works, just try it. If it's not going to kill you, if you only have something to gain, just go for it and try it and see how it feels. So my husband has been raw vegan for a number of years now. Kind of out of choice, but mainly because he has no choice. I think he would choose being raw vegan any day over anything else because he feels how different it is, but he literally has to be raw vegan. He has a condition called EOE, which we will be making another video on, just to help give other people support and information on the condition, because it's not very widely known. But just briefly, for him, he has certain allergies to a number of different foods, primarily wheat. And what happens is he will have a sort of like anaphylactic reaction where his throat will immediately close if he comes in contact with these foods, like mainly if he ingests them or if like they touch his mouth at all, kind of thing. But he also has an issue with getting heartburn. So if anything irritates his esophagus will immediately just close. EpiPens do not work, so it's like a serious condition. And one thing that triggers heartburn for him is cooked food. So he has to avoid cooked food. He can have minimal amounts, but he has to primarily just stay raw vegan. And over the years, he's experimented and tried to kind of dabble in more cooked food, but he finds the more that he has, the worse things get in the condition. Just it's still there. It's not getting any better, it doesn't seem. So he's kind of forced into this lifestyle, which has actually been tremendously beneficial for all of us, because it's helped me to have a healthier lifestyle as well, because we can't have certain foods in the house like wheat. So wheat's a big one, which I had a huge addiction to, and it really damaged my gut. And because we can't have it near the house, it has prevented me from getting a hold of it, which is fantastic. It's kept my entire family healthier, including my kids. It's been very helpful, even though very terrifying and scary, and I don't wish anybody to have this condition, but I thank God for the good that has come out of it. Now, as for me, I am not currently raw vegan. I am vegan. I have been vegan for 8 years now, vegetarian for 10. Excuse me. And I have had my ups and downs through those the number of years of being vegan. And before I'm currently pregnant now with my 4th baby, due in 3 months. And this pregnancy has not been raw vegan. I have been vegan, and I've been incorporating a lot of raw because I feel so different, dramatically different. Specifically, my digestion and my inflammation is so different when I eat high raw. It's just as much raw as I can in my diet. But when I was pregnant with my 3rd child, I started getting into raw veganism before I got pregnant with him. And I started just feeling and noticing the health benefits through being raw. And I remember once I got pregnant with him, it's like, you know what? This is going to be my healthiest pregnancy. I've struggled so much with my diet and my health throughout my life, let alone throughout my pregnancies. And I have been a huge, even junk vegan. Like, for those of you who think that being vegan or gluten-free is healthy, it doesn't have to be. You can be a junk food vegan. You can live off of ice cream and Oreos if you want to. Yes, they're vegan. And so my diet was never the greatest. I had wonderful, beautiful births, especially my first one was fantastic, virtually pain-free. My second one was a beautiful birth too, but it was excruciating and really hard. I have a video of this. I'll post the link below, and you can find my videos, all my testimonies of my births. My third birth was supernatural and completely pain-free. It was an hour and a half long. It was incredible. It was like something you couldn't even imagine. And that was my healthiest pregnancy that I had. So I knew the moment that I got pregnant with him, I told God, it was like, I am going to make this my healthiest pregnancy. And it's scary going into any sort of diet change, let alone when you're pregnant. My husband and I talk a lot about this in other videos, because a lot of people, because you have no idea what you're getting into, and because they seem like such dramatic changes, that they can be a little bit nerve-wracking at first if you don't really know what you're doing, or you don't have support, or you've been raised, you know, eating or living a certain way your entire life, then anything new is going to be a bit daunting. So going raw vegan to me seemed like such a ginormous leap compared to going vegan. And I don't know why. Maybe because I was so much younger when I went vegan and I wasn't pregnant and I didn't have a family to take care of and a baby in my belly to worry about. But I just knew that this was the right way to go. I had so many different little health issues already that I was dealing with, and I saw improving going raw vegan, that I just took the leap. And I was like, I'm believing, I'm hoping this is the best route to go for my baby as well. You get thoughts like, am I going to be undernourished? Is my baby going to be undernourished? Is my baby going to be underweight? You know, there's so many issues that you think of. And from the very beginning, things only got better and better and better for my health. My weight was fantastic. That's the first thing I noticed throughout the entire pregnancy. I looked amazing. I looked so much better than my other pregnancies. With my other pregnancies, I don't even have the best pictures of these. They were ridiculous, because I found pictures of myself pregnant with my first and postpartum, and I threw them out because I was so discouraged about them. And now I wish I had them just for like this purpose, to show people the difference. And to be honest, like I'm looking okay, but it's not like, I'm tiny. Naturally, I'm very tiny. I'm 5'3" and normally around 110 pounds. And with my first pregnancy, I was almost at 160 pounds. For me, you know, it's a big deal, and I really felt it, and I really felt unhealthy. And here's a photo of me 8 months pregnant with my third. And this is while I was raw vegan. The weight difference for me was dramatic. The weight difference for my babies, not so much, because I still had a ginormous baby while being raw vegan. My first baby was 8.8 pounds. My second baby was 8.9 pounds. And then that third baby, while being raw vegan, was 9.2 pounds. I have big babies. I am kind of nervous to see how big this next baby is going to be. But there's another fear that just went out the window, was, oh my goodness, is my baby going to grow while I'm raw vegan? And yeah, he was pretty big. I found during that pregnancy, I had so much more energy. I felt so good. I slept better. I looked better. I rested, like everything was so good. My skin was clear, just everything you would expect, you know, even if you weren't pregnant, all the health benefits. But my pregnancy was so good. My labor was so good. My baby was so chunky and healthy. And this was on like leaves and fruits. I did have nuts and seeds, which are so important, I think, and so great as well. I know people do this, you know, go through pregnancies even as a fruitarian, so, you know, you're just doing fruits, and I think those are some amazing testimonies too. I just remember eating tons of fruit. I would have big fruit bowls in the mornings. I would have huge salads, and I would make, you know, dressings for them or whatever, simple stuff. Nuts and seeds. I would make lots of cashew sauces, so those are pretty, you know, creamy and fatty and satisfying. I found it surprisingly easy, I think, because I was so driven by what I was feeling and so amazed with how good I was feeling that I didn't want to ruin that. Now, I breastfed as well while I was raw vegan, but slowly after I started incorporating some other cooked foods, just, you know, simple things like cooked peas, because I don't believe, I mean, I think it's good to be strict to a certain degree, especially with what you're doing and what you're trying to change, but it's good to have a certain amount of balance too. So if I was really, you know, really feeling like I needed something, I don't know, a little warmer, a little more cooked, I would not ignore that. Like cooked peas, come on, that's better than eating like a ham sandwich or something. And I found that really, really helped, and it really helped keep me, you know, raw and in that lifestyle. And then slowly, you know, as my child continued to grow, I started adding in more cooked food, and I went a little junky again. So unfortunately, this pregnancy has not been as healthy as I would like it to be, even though I am still vegan and still gluten-free. I can really feel the difference. It's kind of sad. I remember how beautiful that last pregnancy was. And I'm going to continue to work to get better and better because I still have time. But I'm curious to see how everything continues to go. I'm definitely a lot heavier than I was during my last pregnancy. I don't have the energy that I did in my last pregnancy. I have a lot of inflammation back. And I'll talk about that in another video as well, because that's dramatic. Here is a photo example of me postpartum after my third birth, being raw vegan with no inflammation in the morning. This is my stomach. And I don't have any photo example of my stomach normally, but it is constantly looking like it's 5 months pregnant ever since my first birth. And it's all inflammation. I am telling you, it is inflammation. And for me, it was from the foods that I was eating, and from eating cooked foods and processed foods and foods that seem good and they're vegan, which is great, but if you're having issues with your digestion, with inflammation, with anything like that, I encourage you to go for it and take the next step, which I have to start doing again during this pregnancy, or just at any point in my life. I need to get back into the group of things. I spent years of my life in and out of doctor's offices, taking blood work, in and out of hospitals, getting colonoscopies, all this stuff, literally for ages. Veganism made a huge difference. Raw veganism gave me my answer. Doctors questioned what the heck is going on with your gut. Is it IBS? Is it like no idea? But the number one thing that they constantly found was just consistent chronic inflammation. And I've tried every diet, tried absolutely everything. And this was it. This was what really, really helped me. So I'm still alive. My babies are still alive. We're thriving. We're healthy. If you have any questions about raw veganism, being pregnant, having vegan babies, vegan pregnancy, whatever, ask below. Share your story if you have a story to share. Check out some of my other videos that might already answer some of the questions that you have. I hope this has been inspirational in some sort of way and maybe encouraging. Please like this video to support and subscribe if you want to be updated with any more videos similar to these. Thank you for watching.